Hello everyone, welcome back to Magad Gyan Kane. So today we'll be discussing about the revolution of the liberals, the revolution of 1848 of the liberals. So as we have discussed in the previous video, there were multiple revolts done by the normal people, meaning the peasants, the weavers, and some lower middle class people. But in parallel to these revolts, there were revolts done by the middle class people. So these middle class people were educated and included professionals such as lawyers, businessmen, teachers, professors, students, etc. So in states like France, where nation states were already there, those revolutions of that nation state France started sparking uprisings in many different nations, many different states which were not yet nation states. So one of these was Germany. So Germany was not at that time a nation state, and the men and women of Germany came together and they combined the demands of constitutionalism with nationalism. They said that yes, we want nationalism, but we also want a constitution, and we want a leader, a king or queen, to head the country under a constitution. So to do this, a large number of people gathered and they elected 831 representatives. So on 18th March 1848, these 831 elected representatives marched to the Frankfurt Parliament, convened at the St. Paul. On 18th May 1848, they marched. The 831 elected representatives marched and took their seats in the parliament of the Frankfurt Parliament, convened at St. Paul. But now they've got a constitution, and they offered the Prussian king to become the ruler, head of the France, working under a constitution. And the name of the king was Friedrich Wilhelm IV. But he denied their proposal and joined other conservatives to oppose this parliament. They started opposing the Frankfurt Parliament. So Frankfurt Parliament did not got support from the king nor from the armies, but they also started to lose their support from the poor people, as there were almost no representatives of the poor people in that parliament. The troops were called in, and this parliament had to be abandoned. Now we will look at the German unification. So as we just discussed about this Frankfurt Parliament was repressed by the king, the peasants and the armies. But still, after this, the control was taken by the Prussia took control over the unification of Germany, which was architected by Otto von Bismarck, the chief minister Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck was the architect of the unification of Germany. So Prussia fought 3 wars subsequently with with Austria, Denmark and France, and these 3 wars ended in the Prussian victory, finally leading to the unification of Germany in 1871. In 1871, with Kaiser William II as its ruler, and the unification of Germany was complete. Now for the unification of Italy. So Italy was divided into 7 different states, and only one of the states, Sardinia Piedmont, ruler was Italian. So after you know about Giuseppe Mazzini, who had set up Young Italy, a secret society, but the revolutions of 1830 and 1848 failed. So the responsibility of unification of Italy was given to the ruler of Sardinia Piedmont, Victor Emmanuel II. So in 1859, they finally successfully defeated the Austrian powers, and in 1861 they defeated the southern part of Italy, that is the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. And in 1861, Italy was finally unified with Victor Emmanuel II as its king.